Yeah, I think I'm audible. Guys, mute yourself. Someone's mic is coming out. I think I can hear some. Yeah, now it's good. So let us start this session, guys. I welcome you all to the data engineering course, right? With the help of the Google Cloud Platform. So we've been hearing here and there that the Google Cloud Platform having a plenty of opportunities. We are trying to leverage that kind of a. Okay, we're gonna try to leverage the benefit of learning the data engineering with the help of the Google Cloud Platform. Nowadays, cloud platforms having a plenty of opportunities, I can say. And when I say at in talking about a Google Cloud Platform is like any other cloud platforms like Amazon, AWS, Azure. Okay, all of these things. It's gonna be providing you the pool of services or a pool of tools where you can able to have a data engineering. I mean, where you can able to have data architecting, data processing, data transformations, data pipeline creation, data pipeline orchestration. Okay, plenty of the things that you can able to do. Okay, so what we will do today is that first I'm going to give you basic idea about what is a data engineering. Okay, I'm going to give you a basic idea about the data engineering, and I'll also tell you what is the difference between the data lake and RDBMS as well as data warehouse, and from there we will pick up the course. So this is our first demo. I'll tell you at the end of our session, I'll tell you what is the course content. I will also give you some time for you to ask me questions. Okay, first we will discuss what is the basic thing, what is actually the data engineering. Okay, once we got to know what is actually the data engineering, then we will come there. What is a Google Cloud Platform do for us? Okay, what is the GCP is doing for us? And after that, we will discuss a very basic concept of what is the difference between the data lake, data warehouse, as well as the RDBMS, because people are having a lot of confusion nowadays that they can't able to understand the difference between them. I'll try to give you a very basic idea and very basic difference between them, and we will also define each and every term, like what is actually the data lake, what is actually the data warehouse, what is the main purpose of them. Okay, and then I'll give you some time for you to ask questions if you have any, and I will also tell you what is the course content, and I will also tell you what are the tools that we are focusing on to build our career as a data engineer. Okay, so that is our main agenda today. So welcome to the session. So my name is Shaik Saidhul, guys. I've completed my master's degree from National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, and I have like more than 4 years of experience into this Google Cloud platform itself. I originally comes from the Hadoop and Spark background, and it's been many years. I'm currently working as a cloud architect in the top MNC, and I have even have 3 certifications in the GCP, 2 certifications in the Azure. When it comes to the 3 certifications in the GCP, the highest certification is Cloud Architect, and the next one is Professional Data Engineer. I am also Associate Cloud Engineer certified. So comes to the Google Cloud, and I am. It's not that one time I have given my exam, 2 years before I have given it, and recently I have also given it. I know the question pattern. Who are planning for the certification also, they are in good hands, right? So let us start the session. Let me open my paint and let me try to explain you what is engineering, what is data lifecycle, and then we will pick it up from there. Okay, so very first thing, what is, just go 10 years before. Sir, if you go to 10 years before, what was happening is that we do not have much applications, we do not have much devices, so people were not interacting with the web very much. Okay, people were not interacting with the applications very much because they do have a less applications or devices to interact with the one more application. But when you look at now, people are having a plenty of devices, and whatever kind of activity that you are trying to do today, from the morning to the evening, you are trying to interact with one kind of an application. That application is generating the data because of you. It's not the one person, it's not the 10 persons, plenty of the people every day trying to interact with plenty of the IoT applications, plenty of the web services, plenty of the applications. So they keep on generating the data. So the data will be generated at application. The data may be generating it in a web server. The data may be generated at the IoT. Okay, so when you look at an application or a web server, application and web server same, the data comes from a RDBMS, or the data may be generated at a IoT. What is the problem here? Okay, what is the problem here is that, so I have a data. It's not that for me I just told like 3 services, 4 services, but if you actually go to the real business, they're actually having plenty of the applications. Okay, I might have told you apps here, but they may be having some plenty of applications, RDBMS, plenty of RDBMS, IoT. So as a business, if I wanted to improve my customer behavior or customer satisfaction, or if I wanted to get more customers, or if I wanted to improve my business in terms of sales or whatever it is, so what I have to do? So I have to understand my business, right? So to understand the business, we need to have the data in proper location. Okay, if I wanted to understand the data, I need to have the data in proper one location. Then I'll be able to analyze the data. Once the data is analyzed properly, you will be able to get some insights from it. And those insights are very, very useful for the business to improve the customer satisfaction or getting more customers. So we are getting data from a multiple data sources. We are trying to load the data to one location where it can be able to hold the entire data in one place, even though it is a petabytes of the data, whatever it is. Okay, petabytes, terabytes of the data. We try to get the data from these applications as soon as the data is created, and we try to load the data, ingest the data to the this layer, what I'm calling as a data lake or a staging area. Okay, I'm going to call it as a data lake. Okay, once we have the data in the data lake, so this is a storage layer. This data lake, what is a data lake here? A data lake is a centralized repository to store your data. Centralized repository to store your data. If it is in a format of CSV or a format of JSON, any format. And also if it is having a, I need not to worry about the restriction of the size. I need not to worry about the restriction of the number of files that I can able to store. A data lake is a centralized repository where you can able to store any amount of data, any number of files, any file format. Okay, so this is what it is, guys. Once you have the data in the data lake, okay, once you have the data in the data lake, so if you understand clearly, the data that I have got from the applications may not be able to directly in a usable format, or directly I cannot perform analysis on top of it. Okay, so the data that I extracted from the applications are the multiple data sources. They are not in a directly usable format. What I try to do is that I'll try to process it. Okay, because the data which I have got may be having some duplicates, may be having some accurate problems, or maybe having some null values, maybe having some plenty of the issues. Okay, so what I'll try to do is, before doing the analysis, I wanted to process the data in such a way that the data is proper and the data is clean and the data is prepared properly, so that I'll be able to do the analysis on top of it. For that purpose, what I will doing here is that I am having it some data processing layer. So in this data processing layer, what I will do, guys, in this data processing layer, whatever the data that I have in the data lake, centralized repository for all of your data, I'm gonna be sending it to the data processing, and I'll try to do the data processing here. Okay, what I will do, sir, I will try to do the data processing here. When I say data processing, whatever you call, whether you call removing the null values, whether you call removing the duplicate values, or whether you call processing the big large amount of the data, whatever it is, so you will be having a data processing step. So once the data is properly cleaned, what I will do, sir, I'm going to be sending it to the enterprise location, a centralized enterprise data warehouse. What it will do is like here it's going to be having the entire data which is cleaned, which will be very useful directly for the analysis purpose. Okay, so this is what I'm calling as a data warehouse. Okay, what I'm trying to do here, I am going to send the data which I got from the data processing layer directly to the data warehouse. The data in the data warehouse may be in the form of a tables, and which is having a rows and columns, and the schema is properly defined, and it is having a query engine which is capable of running the SQL queries. Plenty of options are there here. Okay, with the help of those options, I'll be able to analyze the data, which will give me the insights, which will be very useful for my business. Or there are some people reading, understanding the tabular data is very hard. So that's where the people creating a dashboards, which they will be trying to analyze some kind of a data with the help of the pictorial views. Okay, they try to create a dashboard. Or there are people, there are engineers, machine learning engineers, or the data scientists, they try to create models. Okay, what are these models, guys? ML models, machine learning models. Okay, so this is the output finally. You get the data from multiple data sources, you try to store it in the data lake, you do the data processing, you send it to the data warehouse for the analysis purpose, and you do some kind of a, I mean, if there is a business manager, he will be able to read this data and do some get some insights from it, and it will be very useful for the business. Or there will be a BI engineers, they're going to create some dashboards on top of it. Those dashboards will be very cosmetically looks good, and which will be very useful for them to analyze the data easily instead of reading a plenty of lines of the tabular data. And there are people who create a models, machine learning models on top of the properly cleaned data. So this is how the data lifecycle looks like. Okay, in the data lifecycle, you have a sources. Okay, you have a sources. You try to ingest it, ingestion into the storage layers. You try to store it here. You try to process it here, or you try to transform it here. And once this is done, you try to again store it here and analyze it here, analysis. And this is where you create insights or dashboards or machine learning models. So this is the data lifecycle, guys. In a typical data lifecycle process, you will be having a data acquisition or data extraction from the multiple data sources, and you will be having a data storage. And once you have the data storage, you try to do the data processing. Okay, when I say data extraction, data acquisition, extracting the data from a multiple data sources, either it is from a databases or the file formats, even though if it is a streaming data also. Okay, and again you store the data. You're gonna determine the data storage technology structures, if it is a RDBMS or a NoSQL databases or just a blob storages, whatever it is, you're gonna mention. And then you have a step of data processing, and when you have a data processing and transformation, you implement both batch data processing, or you implement both, one more is streaming data processing, to work with the large amounts of the data here. Okay, and after that, what you do for doing all of these things, mainly our aim is to analyze the data. So we analyze the data here, and somewhere the different people going to use this analysis data for them to improve the business. So this is our agenda. Okay, during this phase, what we are doing, we are trying to integrate the multiple technologies to create an architecture. And we are also ensuring the data quality, and we have to make sure that this process is happening every day. So for that purpose, we have a data orchestration is also there. Once this entire architect is ready, what we will do is like, if everything goes smooth, And if somewhere there is a performance issues, we're going to have the performance optimization techniques as well. Optimizing the data processing or storage systems for improved performance, scalability, cost efficiency. Plenty of such things are also there. So this is the typical data life cycle of a data engineer guys, data engineering guys. So either you get a chance to work on this area, you get a chance to work on this area, or a data ingestion, or a data processing, data warehouse, or a BI tool, all of these things. Okay, every arrow marks indicating it is a pipeline. Okay, a data transformation, data moving from one location to one more location. So it is a data pipeline. Ensuring and monitoring the pipeline running all the time without any issues is also a one more activity of a data engineer. Okay, so this is what it is. And not only that, as an architect, at the end of your, I mean, maybe as a data engineer, you will be working on these processing activities, building activities, but after few years, you have to work on the data governance practices as well to maintain the data integrity, data security, and data compliance. Okay, so this is also very much important. Establishing the data governance is also a one more final activity that everyone to maintain the data integrity, data compliance, and throughout the data, wherever the data is moving from one location to another location, data is secure. So this is all about the data engineering, guys. Okay. Do we have any questions on this one? Very important concept, guys. After this one, now let us try to understand a small technique or a small important thing, that is, what is the difference between the RDBMS? What is what is the difference between the RDBMS and data lake and data warehouse? Okay, so let us try to understand. Okay, so leave about this data engineering life cycle. This data engineering life cycle is to make you understand there are plenty of the steps of plenty of steps involved, and there is a data moving from one platform to one more platform, and the data will be integrated between the multiple applications. Okay, this is the main agenda for you. And I just want you to give you a very basic concept related to the difference between the data lake, data warehouse, and all. So let me try to give you. Assume that you have an application running, something that it is a Flipkart. Okay, you have an application called Flipkart. Okay, Flipkart is an e-commerce website. What the e-commerce website will do is that there are plenty of the people who are every day trying to interact with the application. Okay, there are plenty of the people every day trying to interact with this application. Okay, so what they do is that they try to interact with the application. Some people try to order the product from the application. Some people do some kind of activities like adding the addresses. So plenty of actions they are going to do on the application end. Okay, now tell me what happens. So do you think the application stores the data? Application does not store the data. But whatever the interaction that is happening over the Flipkart, where the data is actually stored, whether it is an application or a web server, whatever it is, guys. So if a user trying to interact with an application does not store the data. Okay, application never ever store the data. Application will be connected and supported by one of the, tell me guys, one of the OLTP system. Now you'll be able to understand what is OLTP and what is OLAP. So what happens is that application does not store the data. It will be connected to the application. Whenever the application needs the data to show the user, for example, whenever you wanted to order some kind of a clothing product, or you wanted to order some jeans, what happens is that whenever you search something on the application is supported by the OLTP. OLTP is nothing but an RDBMS. Okay, RDBMS will have a plenty of the tables. Okay, and whenever a user trying to interact with the application gets the data from the backend RDBMS and it's going to show it up there. Whether it is a product information, product description, product images, product MRP, whatever the information, all the information actually be storing from the RDBMS only. Okay, so if a user is trying to interact with it, if he wanted to see or if the application wanted to display the data comes from the RDBMS via API calls. And one more thing is that whenever a user interacting, the interaction or whenever a user puts some order, that order activity will be stored here in the RDBMS. Okay, so this is one more thing that we have to remember. As soon as the person or a user trying to interact with the application, that application data will be stored here in the RDBMS. Okay, so all the data will be stored here. So 1 minute, guys, I'm getting one call. 1 minute. Yeah, sorry guys. So as soon as the user is trying to interact with an application, the application generates the data. The entire data will go and sit in the OLTP. Okay, the entire data go and sit in the OLTP. Whenever the user required to store the data, it will be stored here. So a day-to-day activity of the application will be stored here. That's the reason in your OLTP, you will be having a fresh transactional data. What kind of a data you will be having here, sir? Fresh transactional data, you can say. All the day-to-day activities data will be stored here. Okay, so some people call it as an RDBMS, operational databases, source databases, transactional databases. All the names are same, guys. What is OLTP? Online transactional processing. Whatever the data generated at the Flipkart or application, that data will be stored here in the OLTP. So once we have the data in the OLTP, so now tell me, if the Flipkart is running the business from the last 15 years, do you think all the data of 15 years will be stored here in the OLTP? No. The answer is no. Because even though the Flipkart is running from the last 15 years, I don't want it to store entire data of that 15 years into the OLTP, because OLTP is supporting the application. If it is having a lot of data, it will not be able to provide the proper support to the application. That's the reason the main intention of the OLTP is not to store the data properly. It is to continue your business. The business continuation is very much important here. So that's the reason some people have the OLTP data to be for the last 6 months. Okay, so we will only be storing the data of last 6 months in the OLTP. And what about the rest of the data, guys? So what about the rest of the data? Are we just, do we need that rest of the data? We don't need the rest of the data, right? Either I can delete it or I can able to just waste it. Guys, someone is not muted properly. Mute yourself, guys. Otherwise, okay, I can't unmute. I can't mute anyone. Okay, mute yourself. Yeah. So yeah. So what is happening is that everything so far good. A Flipkart is generating the data because of the user interaction, and that data will be stored in the OLTP. And the OLTP is storing all the business data. If the Flipkart is running from the last 15 years, all the 15 years data will be stored in the OLTP. My answer is no, because what happens is that if the Flipkart is if the OLTP is storing all the 15 years data, the burden on the OLTP is very high, so that it cannot be able to support the application properly. So that's the reason people say that it can be only be storing the last 6 months data or last 5 months data or last 4 months data. Okay, what about the rest of the data? What about the 14 years 0.6 months data? What is happening here? So we don't want that data. Either we can delete it or we can able to use it for some other purpose. Okay, that purpose is that people try to come up with some kind of idea is that, so whenever I have a plenty of the data with me, I can able to just analyze the data, because I have a plenty of the historical data with me. I can able to analyze that historical data. That historical data will be very useful for my business. Okay, so what happens is that last 6 months data is a transactional data. You can able to store it here. The rest of the data will be moved to the warehouse. Why we are moving it to the warehouse? Sir, people say that understanding the historical data will be very useful for the business to improve. Okay, so that is the reason whatever the data that is having in the transactional, as soon as it is 6 months old, it's gonna be moving from the transactional data. It's gonna be moving from the OLTP to the OLAP. You can also call it as a OLAP, guys. Or you cannot see my screen. Can you see it, guys? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So as soon as the data is 6 months old, that data will be moving from the OLTP to the OLAP. You can also call OLAP, guys. Why it is? Either I can remove the entire data, because I just want only the last 6 months data. All 14 years data I can able to delete it. But what people say is that if I wanted to improve my business, I can able to store that historical data and I'll be able to do the analysis on top of it. If I do the analysis on top of it, that data will be very useful for my business to improve. So that's the reason all the OLTPs will have its historical data. OLAP will have historical data. All the historical data will be stored here in the OLAP. So that data will be very useful for the analysis. So if I wanted to take any decision, I have to have a proper insights. If I have to have a proper insights, I have to analyze the data. If I need to analyze the data, I'll need to have the full data with me. So that's the reason you will be having all the enterprise data from your starting day of your business to the current day. All the entire data will be stored here in the OLAP, and OLAP is the historical data it is storing. The main purpose of the OLAP is to run your improve your business. Okay, the main intention of the OLAP is to improve your business. The main intention of your OLTP is to what, guys? The main intention of the OLTP is to run your business, to continue your business. Okay, why? Because without this one, the application cannot be able to survive. If the application is unable to survive, user interaction will not be there. That means I do not have a business at all if there is no user interaction. So that's the reason OLTPs are the main important to continue our business. The main purpose of the OLTP is to continue the business. The main purpose of the OLAP is to improve your business. So when I say I wanted to continue my business, I have my historic transactional data readily available. I have my OLTP supporting the application. And the other hand, whatever the data that is this many months old, all the data will be moved from the OLTP to the OLAP. So OLAP is nothing but a data warehouse or online analytical processing. The name itself, it is saying that we're going to perform some analytics on top of this data. And this data is historical data. When I run the analytics on top of the historical data, I'll be able to come up with some insights. That insights will be very useful to improve the business. Okay, so this is what is a main agenda of data warehouse. OLAP or data warehouse, both are same. Okay. Now, so what people say is that they don't want it to directly send the data from the OLTP to the OLAP. they try to have some kind of a staging area. That staging area is nothing but a staging area you can call, or a data lake also you can call. If it is your big, if it is a big data project, you can able to call it as a data lake. Okay, so this is what is a data lake. A data lake is not only storing the data from the OLTP, it can also store the data from the application. What happens is that, see here, I'm going to give you a very small example here. Try to understand. If a user is trying to interact with the Flipkart application, if he puts an order, so okay, order placed, OP, order placed, that record will be added to the OLTP. What if a person is trying to interact with an application but he did not ordered any amount of data? What happens is that, where the data generated in the form of a logs, where it is going, because there are 4 people, 3 people have placed the orders, but one guy is not placed the order. Okay, we have to understand his customer behavior as well, right? So if I wanted to understand the persons who have not ordered the product, so I have to understand his customer behavior. If I wanted to understand his customer behavior, where the data is generated, the data generated will be in the form of logs. Okay, log files. There will be a log files will be there for each and every application. The log files are now have the information of the persons who have ordered, who have not ordered. If the ordered is fine, because anyway that is the data is there in the OLTP. If they have not ordered the product, what I have to do, that data will be available in the form of a logs. So I have to process this logs. First I have to store this data of the logs, then I will do the processing on the logs, then I will be sending the data to the data warehouse. So during the process of understanding the business, what we are doing, we are understanding the person's customer interact, I mean, we are understanding the customer behavior and we are trying to improve the business. Okay, whenever we wanted to understand the customer behavior, we wanted to first store the data of customer interaction, whether they have ordered the product or they have not ordered the product. If they have ordered the products, that is well and good. If they have not ordered the product, why did not they? Okay, they actually come from for ordering the product. They have searched a few items, but they didn't order it. They go to some other platform and they order it. So what could be an issue? Whether it could be an issue with the price, or whether it could be an issue of showcasing the product, or whether it is issue of the discount or a description loss. So whatever, there can be a plenty of reasons, right? So we need to understand that as well. So whether it is in the form of a tabular data, or whether it is a form of a log files, or like log files of heavy textual data or CSV file data, whatever it is. So we will be storing the data that in the data lakes, then we will be processing it and sending it to the OLAP. And here I am again analyzing the data, which will be useful for getting the insights from it. Okay, so this is what is all about data lake, data warehouse, or DBMS. Very simple, guys. As soon as a person is interacting with an application, the data will be generated. Either the data is generated maybe in the form of a tabular format, or the data is generated in the form of a log file. So whatever it is, our agenda is to, as a data engineer, we have to process the data and analyze the data. If I have to process and analyze the data, the main intention for me is to store the data first. For storing the data of transactional, I'm having OLTP. OLTP, I don't want it to store the entire business data, because entire enterprise data, I don't want it to store it here, because it is a large amount of the data. OLTPs are not built for this purpose. OLTP is to support the application. Okay, so we will be here only storing the transactional data. The rest of the data will be moved to the some other platform via staging layer. So from it will be going to the data warehouse. A data warehouse is also called as OLAP. OLAP is nothing but an online analytical processing. All the historical data will be stored here. Okay, so when I have a transactional data which is which is supporting the application, the main intention of RDBMS or OLTP is to run your business or to continue your business. And when I have the historical data, I'm doing analysis on top of the historical data and getting the insights and business, improving the business. So that's the reason the main intention of the OLTP data, OLAP data is to improve your business. So this is the main difference that we have to understand. If we don't understand this difference, then it will be a problem. There are plenty of the people who are little in a little confusion. Now I think I have given you some kind of a overall idea how it actually works. Okay, as a data engineer, we will be working on this area, we will be working on this area, we will be working on this area, these pipelines, these are also pipelines, this processing and this data warehouse. So almost all the areas as I mentioned here are covered. If you can see here, we have a source ingestion. So this is ingestion, extracting the log files, processing the log files, OLTP, building an OLTP, building a data lake, building a data warehouse, processing the data, analyzing the data. So these are the areas of a data engineer, guys. Okay. So this is how the data engineering life cycle looks like, and these are the main basic concepts of a data engineering. Okay. So, sir, what is now so far we understood the data life cycle, we understood the basic concepts of differences between the data lake, data warehouse and RDBMS. Now I'm going to tell you what is GCP providing us. Okay, so GCP is like any other cloud like Amazon and Azure. It is also providing you some data engineering tools who can work on the cloud itself. Okay, we can leverage the benefit of the Google Cloud, and we can able to create a data pipelines. We can able to have a RDBMS solution. We can able to have a data warehouse solution. We can able to have a data processing solutions, data transformation solutions, data governance solutions. Plenty of these solutions available in the data Google Cloud platform itself. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to leverage those benefits and create a data pipelines throughout this period with the help of the Google Cloud platform. So for that one, we are going to learn what are the tools you asked me. So I'm going to tell you the course content now. Okay. So far, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me, guys. So far, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me, and then I will tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss. And in depth course, these are the topics, and I have here topic wise description of each and every point. Okay, I'm going to go there just to tell me if you guys have any questions before that.
So far we are good, sir.
So far we are good, right? Great. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the topics that we are going to cover in our session, guys. So as I told you, we are going to learn about the data lakes. We are going to learn about the RDBMS solutions in Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. We are going to learn about the data warehouse solution. We are going to learn about the data ingestion tools. We are going to learn about the data processing tools. Yes. So someone is asking a question, why you choose data engineering over AWS and Azure? I'll come to that point, guys. And we are also learning about the data orchestration, IAM, cloud functions, cloud scheduler. Very important topic, each and everything I'm telling you. So I'm going to tell you actually what is this course about. Okay, so we as a data engineer has to work on the data lakes, right? So that's the reason we are learning about the data lake with the help of the Google Cloud Storage, GCP. We should learn about the RDBMS. So we are learning the Cloud SQL. We should learn about data warehouse, building a data warehouse, partitioning, clustering, denormalizing the data, as well as nested fields, repeated fields, plenty of the concepts, star schema, snowflake schema, entire things we have to learn. That is with help of the BigQuery we are going to learn. Okay, and the next thing that is, so far so good, how to process the data. So that's where data processing tools come into the picture. Sir, I wanted to learn about the Hadoop and Spark. So data proc is mainly built for Hadoop and Spark environment. Data proc. So here we are going to learn about Hadoop, Spark, and we are going to learn the PySpark development here. Okay, so we are going to learn. And the next thing is we are going to learn about the data flow. Here we are going to learn about Apache Beam development. Okay, and the next thing is, sir, I am coming from I wanted to learn about the data fusion, which is a code-free tool. Sir, data proc, we are going to learn about Python Spark. Data flow, we are going to learn Python with Apache Beam. That is again coding. Sir, I wanted to create a pipelines without writing any code. That is what is a data fusion. It is a code-free environment to create pipelines. Okay. So data proc, we are going to create a pipelines. Data flow, we are going to create a data processing. So all these data processing pipelines, I'll say. Okay, data processing pipelines. So if I wanted to create it, these are the core tools. Very important, very important. So people are outside working on the data proc, very similar to Databricks. Need not to worry about it. Very similar to Databricks. Data flow, very important. You guys might have known about the Flink and Spark environment, right? So all of these things are covered here. Apache Beam programming model. Sir, I am coming from a code-free environment. I wanted to learn about the data fusion, which is it is a drag and drop tool. You need not to write any code. You just have to drag the source. You just have to drag the transformations. You have to, with the help of the user interface itself, you will be able to create a pipelines. So that is what is our data fusion. Okay. And one more thing is, workflow orchestration tool. Workflow orchestration with the help of the Airflow. So we have, people also call it as a composer in the GCP. So both are same. So sir, I have a plenty of pipelines. I wanted to orchestrate pipelines. So with help of the Airflow, we are going to orchestrate the pipelines here in the GCP. So all of these things we are going to learn. And additionally, IAM, identity access management. So project management skills. So these are the project management in the GCP. Okay, and 7, scheduler. Sir, I wanted to learn about the functions. Cloud functions also we are going to learn. So more than 10 topics that we have, 10 tools that we are going to learn in our sessions, guys. Data lakes, data warehouses, RDBMS, data processing pipelines, workflow orchestration tool. Main focus here on these things, guys. Very important, these 3 things. Sorry. Okay, and this is, I think, not 3. I think these 4 areas are very much important for us. RDBMS, warehouse processing, and workflow orchestration tool with help of the Airflow. Each and every session we will be having a theoretical 25%, 70% is going to be a practical. I'm going to tell you how entire account. You $300 in credit for next 90 days. Okay, our course is only next 45 to 50 days only, max 45 to 50 days only. Within that period, even though after that you wanted to practice the same thing, you have a 90 days free trial period will also be there. Okay, yeah. So this is all about our course, and this is about a basic idea of our course. Okay, yeah. Now this is the course topics. If you wanted to see the in-depth topics that we are going to discuss, cloud storage, these are the activities that we are learning. Cloud SQL, cloud spanner, bigtable, BigQuery, data flow, PubSub. I actually got this PubSub, and we are also learning about Airflow and data fusion. And I forgot to tell you, real-time projects and case studies also we have. Okay. Finally, we're also having real-time scenarios. Very important, guys. This is scenarios, which will be very useful for you. Real-time scenarios and projects and case studies. I'm gonna provide you assignments. Those case studies I'm gonna give it to you as an assignment. So these all the things are there for you guys. So whenever I'm talking about a data lake, I'm gonna give you some assignment. When I'm gonna talk about our RDBMS, I'm gonna give you an assignment. So data processing, I'm going to give you one entire pipeline for your case study as an assignment to you. You will be able to have to solve it. Okay, so we are going to learn the PySpark. By the end of this course, I'm expecting this from you guys. You will be able to have some architect level of mindset. Okay, architect level. You will be able to, based on some requirement, you will be able to create some architect with the help of these data engineering tools. And you will also be learning about the PySpark development. And you're also learning about the Apache Beam development. And you're also learning about the DAG creations. And you're also learning about SQL development. Okay. So I think this is what it is. And one more thing, building data lakes and data warehouses. Okay, so this is by the end of this course. So you will be able to get this as an output to you, sir. You will be able to, I mean, if I give you some use case or if I give you some requirement, which actually comes from the client, right? So you will be able to create an entire architecture for that particular requirement. And you will be able to have some you will be able to you are going to become a PySpark developer, you are going to become a Apache developer, you can able to create a DAX. So this is very important thing again, SQL development and building a data lake and data warehouse. This course is robust and which I have given a lot of thought into preparing this course and preparing these projects and real-time scenarios, guys. Okay, all these are comes from my experience. I have taken few things from some other sources as well. So we have a case studies, projects, real-time scenarios. Everywhere whenever we talk about something, 25% will be theoretical and mostly 75% will be practical. Okay, coding, SQL as well as Python. So more prerequisite for the course. Some people will ask me, right? Prerequisite. So prerequisite is SQL, guys. If you are good with the SQL, medium level of proficiency. Okay, medium level of proficiency. Python basics. Basics. Just if you know about data types, that is well and good. Data types like int, string, boolean, and dictionary, tuple, list, array. That's it. Well and good. Python basics. Okay, this is the prerequisite for the course. Hope I have given you some idea about this course content and all. So all of these things that we are going to discuss in our session. So those who wanted to tell me, sir, I wanted to learn about the basic concepts, I have mentioned here the basic concepts here as well. Okay, SQL concepts and Python concepts. So if you wanted to become a data engineer, focus on these SQL concepts and Python concepts. Okay, data types, variables, conditions, functions, map and read is not that much enough, but yeah, loops. That's it. If you are learning these things, it wouldn't take much time if you actually wanted to become a data engineer, I'm telling you. Okay, and this course will be focusing on plenty of such things. I'm gonna give you, my notebook is a robust guide. It will be having all the things. So I'm gonna be providing you the access to all of these things every day. Okay, so whatever the thing that we are going to talk about here, for example, free tier account, you can able to create an account from this particular slide. And whenever we talk about a cloud shell, Google Cloud Storage, everything is here. I'm gonna, whatever the topic that we are covering today, I'm gonna paste it here. You will be able to have that access to the notes every day. And Cloud Shell, and we have a how to interact with this ones. You guys can hear me. Okay, so this is how you will be able to have access to everything, guys. So we'll be able to see, even though we have a data warehouse concepts, we are going to learn about the star schema, snowflake schema, types of dimension table, STD, type 1, type 2, role play dimensions. Plenty of topics are also there here. BQ, when it comes to the BigQuery, what is a BigQuery? Okay, what is the difference between the modern traditional data warehouses as well as modern data warehouses such as BigQuery, partitioning and clustering, nested fields and repeated fields, assignments, and data proc. We are going to learn about the Hadoop ecosystem. What is the difference between the Hadoop and Spark, Spark and PySpark, cluster creations, single node cluster creation, multi-node cluster creation. You see here Hadoop, HDFS, MapReduce, Spark, what is PySpark, and coding, case studies, cluster creations, real-time projects. Everything is here, guys. Okay. Likewise for the data flow also. What is data flow? What is Apache Beam? Languages, framework, everything is here. The only thing is pre-transformation, pre-collection. The only thing is just to follow just follow the class every day and put 1 more hour for every day for practicing all the things. So 2 hours every day will make you a very good get a good hands on each and every topic on the Google Cloud platform. Azure, there are already plenty of professionals, trained professionals already available. Competing with them is a little bit hard. Not only that, the opportunities are less. Okay, for 100 jobs already, 200 people are available for the Azure data engineer and AWS data engineer. But for the GCP data engineer, you have a very less amount of people for available. So if you wanted to, you know, build your career as a data engineer, and I wanted to be in trendy, and nowadays the Google Cloud platform is, and one more thing I wanted to tell you is that it's not that you are learning one cloud platform. Whenever I'm talking about one service, what is the competitor service of that in the Azure as well as AWS, how to work with those services also I will tell you. Okay, like data proc, we have a Databricks, we have Azure Databricks, we have a EMR in the AWS. So all of these things are same. Okay, and how to work with them is also very easy. I'll tell you how we can come. I mean, we should know what are the services available in other clouds, so that tomorrow we get a chance to work on that area also. If we get a chance, we need not to worry about it, right? The tools names are different, but the underlying architecture and how to work with the tool is same. Okay, so that is how it is. I will tell you that. I will give you that kind of a knowledge as well. Yeah. Now tell me, guys, if you have any questions. I have given you some idea about all the course content, and I have even shown you how I'm going to provide you the access to these notes as well from the very first day onwards, guys. So you will be having access to my notes, and you will be able to check each and everything. And we are going to share you the recording sessions if someone missing the class, and I will also provide you the material. And I think that is it. The course duration is going to be 45 to 50 hours. Okay. Yeah. Close to 2 months, we can say. Yes, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me now.
Yeah, hello sir. That was a actually very good session.
To
This
learn
is Satya.
Actually, there are plenty of people talking, guys. So one at a time. One at a time. I'm not sure. Like Sudeep Reddy, right? Can you talk once? Yeah. If you have any question. Actually, we have two sessions going on. So we have people there and here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the first thing is like, is there any class available on the PM? I mean, like in the IST PM?
IST PM, it's actually running, guys. They're actually in the middle. So for the 9.
So how many classes are done for that?
For that, almost 15 to 20 classes are completed. It's in the middle.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
This,
Okay.
yeah.
And the second question is like, do we need to learn any commands like because I mean I've seen somewhere.
I'll teach it. I'll teach that. So don't worry about that, sir. So I'm gonna tell you one thing. The only expectation from you is that before starting the course, SQL basics or SQL middle level knowledge. That's it. Okay. I'm gonna tell you how you can expertise in the SQL. One thing I'm gonna teach you SQL development here. I'm gonna teach you Python development also here. So the only expectation from you is that learn the SQL. That's it. Okay, all other shell activities, all other Python developments, DAG creations, PySpark development, Apache Beam development, everything is with help of the Python. I'll teach you. Yeah.
Okay. In the PM class, like, what are the sessions going on right now? Like, are you completed with the SQL? Because for me, total 6 to 7 years of ETL experiences, so I'm good with the SQL and the commands, and I know the Python as well. So just I want to know I want to gain the knowledge of the GCP tool. So that's why I'm asking.
Yes, yes. So I think you can connect with our team. They're gonna help you on that. But the thing is, like, they're actually in the middle. I'd say they're working on the data proc right now. Okay. And the data proc is a Python PySpark development they are working on now. So we are having those kind of sessions. BigQuery is completed. That is SQL development is completed.
Oh, then I'll go with the new session.
I mean, this session is very, so I mean, maybe it is 8 to 9 p.m. I think it is, well, I think it's a very good time. Or sometime after a few days, we're going to make it as 7:30 to 8:30. So this is how, because some people wanted to go for office also, right? So yeah. Yes. So yeah. Any other questions, guys? Someone is also asking question, right? Yeah, you can ask me. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hi, sir. So I have a question. It might not be directly related to this. My question is why we have to learn the GCP rather than, like, there are other cloud platforms as well, where like Azure, AWS, Snowflake, and all that. What is the advantage of learning this one, sir, compared to the other ones?
I'm going to tell you there are advantages. See, I'm going to ask you one thing. So did you attend the AWS data engineer or Azure data engineer demo earlier?
No, sir. I didn't attend that one, sir.
Why didn't you attend it?
No, I didn't attend the Azure one. I have just the basic knowledge of Azure, the AWS and GCP. I'm just asking a question, sir.
Some other online websites. So apart from that, I don't have any more knowledge on it.
No, Sudeep, I'm not asking you. There is one more guy is also there in the session. Okay. Cyrus, I'm going to tell you one thing. See, there are plenty of tools. See, for example, I wanted to buy a chocolate and I wanted to go to the supermarket. What happens is that there are plenty of chocolates available. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is my mindset is that, so I want a very good chocolate, but with a decent money. Okay. So for that one, what I wanted to do is that I'll go there and look at the price of each item, and I'll also ask the customer, the owner of that house, and whether this chocolate would be good or not. So I get some kind of an insight from them that, okay, this chocolate is good, but the cost is high. And there is one more chocolate. That chocolate is good, taste is good, but the cost is less. What I'll do, I'll go for the second one. Likewise, you have 3 cloud platforms now. One is AWS, Azure, and GCP. So AWS and Azure have already very good market. When they have established the market, there are already plenty of the people trained available. One more thing is that the cost of using each service is very high now because market is established. So projects are already habituated to use them. But the problem is that if the cost is very high, the projects don't want to use those services. So that's where the GCP, what it is doing is that GCP is providing you the same kind of services for the data engineering and with a lesser price comparatively. Then that's the reason projects are moving towards the GCP. And when the projects are moving, we as a persons wanted to leverage that benefit and we wanted to enter into the market.
To get the jobs, to get the jobs and explore the market. I got it, sir. I got it. Thank you for your answer, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Anyone?
So what's the course duration and fee? Duration
Yeah.
you just told. I'm asking for the fee. And you said there will be a change in the time. It will start 7:30 in the morning afterwards.
Yes. So what happens is that, I mean, I just wanted to make sure everyone is good. If everyone is good at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., well and good, there's no problem. But if someone wanted to go office, we wanted to move a bit half an hour before, then that's also fine. But that's not decided yet.
You said
Okay.
AM, sir, right? Not PM, right?
It's only AM, guys. There is no PM.
Yeah, yeah.
For this session,
Okay,
it is
okay.
only AM. Yeah.
AM,
And one more
okay.
thing I want you to tell you guys about the fee, you can connect with our team.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Connect with our team. They're gonna help you on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, this is Subhash here.
Hi, Subhash.
I'm a Tableau admin actually. So I'm
Okay.
having 7 to 8 years of experience in Tableau side.
Okay.
So I wanted to, explore in cloud side also. So
Sure.
in this, data modeling is required or not?
So I'm telling you, as a data engineer, data modeling is a thing is required. But nowadays, what is happening is that even without the data modeling, people are able to create a data warehouse and they are able to work with that. But having the experience with the data modeling relationships is a very important thing that to have it. But it is not that mandatory for this course. As you already told me that you are a Tableau developer, I have my students coming from the BI developers such as Power BI and ClickSense or something, right? So that is also there.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have taught them, and they are now from the BI perspective to they are now becoming as a data engineers. Because what happening is that I have seen people who got the jobs in a BI, but they wanted to be in a very trendy and they wanted to go in the ladder of machine learning or go in the ladder of a data scientist. So that's where the data engineering will be very helpful for this. So that's the reason plenty of people have already gained it. And there are people who, as a Power BI developer, they wanted to do a certification in the Google Cloud platform. So for that, they have people join. But it's your choice. How do you want to mold it? Okay. So you can go into the data engineering field directly from your Tableau development to there. So if you wanted to see, there are plenty of BI professionals are there, but every day the data is going to increase and the data engineers have a plenty of roles, and the trend for the data engineering will never decrease, because it will only decrease when the data keeps on decreasing, but data will keep on increasing day by day. So there is no problem for the data engineers, and it is going to be very trending. The only thing is that earlier we do have a Hadoop and Spark. Those who learned the Hadoop and Spark were in trend, and now the cloud era came. AWS came into the picture, and those who learned AWS, they were in trend. Now AWS is also saturated, Azure also saturated. So likewise, each and every step we have to learn one tool and we have to be in trend. So something like that, GCP is also one more trending with help of the data engineering. So if you wanted to leverage the concept of this one, so it will be very good for you as well. Yeah.
And one more question, sir. You see, if I want to become a GCP admin rather than getting into GCP data side, right? So since I'm a Tableau admin, right? So I think what I'm assuming is if I learn GCP admin course, it will helpful for me to continue my admin role in cloud area also. You got my point?
Yeah, I got your point. So admin topics we are going to focus on with the help of the IAM project management. But I would say that those wouldn't be make you a admin. Okay, those wouldn't be helpful. I mean, we as our main agenda of this course is data engineering. Make people's become a data engineer. So they wanted to build a career as a data engineer. This course is mainly intended for those people. But the concepts of, for sure, the concepts of admin activities will be covered here. But you yourself wanted to become a career as an admin in the GCP, and I think I'm not covering the entire session on the admin. Our focus is on the data engineering. So if you wanted to become a data engineering, this course will really help you. But if you wanted to go on the ladder of admin into the GCP or AWS or Azure, I think this course is not for you. Yeah.
Okay. So will you cover, are you going to
Of
take any
course,
session,
GCP
separate
admin
session?
topics, yes. We are going to cover the topics for 2 to 3 sessions. We'll be having it, and each and every session we will be having some kind of a thing, right? For example, admin is everywhere. It is important. Even though when we talk about having an access, project management, everything, everywhere it is related. But my mindset or my way of teaching will be inclined towards a data engineering rather than admin, but everywhere it is covered. Yeah.
Yeah, I got your point. Thanks for that.
Yes.
But my question is, do you have any other badge which, tell us about the complete course about the administration?
No, so far no, guys. So far
Okay.
no, Subhash. And if
Do
it
you
is
have
there in
any
the
plans?
future, I will try to help you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any plans, yeah.
Sure,
Okay, no
sure.
problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. No problem. Any other questions, guys?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir Cyrus again. Sorry to bother you. I
No
was
problem.
just listening to the other participant, and I have a question. Do we think by doing this course by the end of the 45 or 50 days, you said, we'll be able to work like on multiple cloud applications rather than only using GCP? We can still work on AWS and Azure as well.
Still work on. So I'm telling you guys, I have my students who got placed like 3 to 4 months before. One of the guy usually in contact with me, he told me that, sir, I'm working on the Azure now. But he told me that he was working on the Azure Databricks. Okay. And he told me that I asked him directly. This was a question I asked him that, did you face any difficulties while working in the Azure? Sir, at first for 1 or 2 days, I faced the bit understanding the terminology. But once I got the terminology, the way that we were working in the Dataproc and the way we are working in the Databricks is very similar. Okay. So it wouldn't affect you anyway, because our core languages that we are working is SQL and Python. Okay. So wherever you go, SQL and Python is same. There's no difference. With the help
I know a little bit of Python, but I've not much experience about the SQL and all
that's
that.
Fine, that's fine. We are going to learn. You yourself will tell me, sir, if this level of Python knowledge is required, sir, within these 8 sessions of Dataproc or 9 sessions of the Dataproc, I got myself very comfortable. Now I will be able to solve. You will only tell me, because our sessions are going to be starting from very basic to the advanced. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So today's I just more focus on the basic concepts and this topics, right? Tomorrow we are going to start our actual sessions. I'm going to start with the data lakes. What is Google Cloud Storage? How we are going to store the data on the Google Cloud Storage? Because the very first thing, whenever I wanted to analyze the data, the challenge is to store the data. Okay, let us take it from there and we will keep moving forward. Okay. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will wind up the session, guys. Okay. Thank you all. Then at the same time tomorrow at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. we will be having a demo 2. With the help of, we are going to start our new topic, Google Cloud Storage. Don't miss.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Very best. Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a great day, guys.